Hey everyone, welcome back to Giovanna Designs. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. Thank you for being here again. So today I'm going to use something that I've used before, but in a new way and a new version of it. So you all know I love my primary elements. Well, there's a new line out called the Summer Sequins Series, and it is gorgeous, as always. It's everything you want for primary elements and everything you expect. The sparkle is beautiful, all of that. But now you have some really pretty summer colors that are super bright and fun and just awesome. So, but what I'm gonna do with them is a little bit of a twist of something different. So generally speaking, if you've ever used primary elements, you know that what you want to do with them is to layer them in between opaque colors. And the reason why you would do that is because they are transparent, and so they will have something to set them off and show all that beautiful sparkle. But today what I'm going to do is a Dutch pour on a white background with only primary elements colors, and I'm going to hope that this works out really well. So my intention is to have something that's really light and airy and ethereal and really pretty. And maybe it won't have so much color.Maybe it'll just have hints of color here or there. I'm not quite sure. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to blow the white on top of it like I usually do, because when I do that, what I do that for is to soften the colors and to blend them. These don't need any softening. They're softening of themselves, so I think we're good there. And I don't want to dull them. I don't want to bring them down at all. So I want to show all that sparkle. I don't want to, you know, kill any of that by draping with white and then blowing it out and you don't see anything. So I really want this to be just really not intense, very soft, very colorful, but in a soft, you know, ethereal sort of way. So we'll see if that works. Hey, I may end up scraping it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I haven't done it yet. So yeah, wish me luck. All right, let's get going. Okay, so here they are together. You know how I tell you guys, anytime you mix up a new color, pop a drop on the top of the container. That's why I tell you to do this. Look, see? They're almost dry. If you can see, they're a little bit wet just right in the middle. But what I wanted to show you, and again, sorry for the zoom, is what they look like dry and how much sparkle they truly have even when they're dry. Because I don't often show my dry pieces. I just don't see the difference truly in between wet and dry that much. So look at that gorgeous green. You see all the sparkle? They dry glossy and sparkly and beautiful. Unless you mix them with other things. And we can talk about that during my mixing video. But, you know, if you do happen to decide to mix them with some different chemicals, Floetrol being one of them, you can dull out that sparkle. Now, can you get it back? Well, yes, to a degree you can. You can get them back because when you varnish, or especially when you resin, you're going to get a lot of that sparkle back. If you really doused it with Floetrol, you're not going to get very much of the sparkle back. But these are really, really so heavily laden with is what I'm trying to say, with mica, that it's pretty hard to dull that sparkle out 100%. So, you know, if you're going to resin the top of your painting, all of that's going to come right back. And if you're going to varnish, you're going to get quite a lot of it back. Aren't these gorgeous? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now you see why I love them so much. All right, sorry for making you dizzy, but this is as good as I can get with the camera. I'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, so I changed my mind. After I mixed up all these colors, I took a really hard look at them and said, you know, Dutch pour is not going to look nice. Honestly, it's just not. So what I think I'm going to do is sort of I don't know what to call it, a random pour. I'm going to throw my white down as a base and just streak the colors across and then tilt like crazy. So we'll see how this turns out. I think it'll be really pretty. So I think it'll work really well with the, you know, the transparency of the colors. So let's see what we can do here. And this is a really thick white, and oh my gosh, it is so lumpy. Oh no. No, that's not gonna work. All right, let's try that again. I don't know if you could see that, but my white was really lumpy. I made the mistake of trying to be frugal and scraping the inside of, you know, a bottle of paint to get the last little bits out. And when you do that, sometimes you'll get, you know, some older paint that's stuck to the side of the bottle, and that's not, you know, it can get clumpy on you. So just be aware of that. Don't do dumb things like I do. Think of it this way, I do dumb things so you don't have to. All right, let's get the rest of this out of here. I think I have just enough white to do this. I really want a very thin coat of white on this, just enough for the paint to move around. I'm gonna have a lot of paint on here, so it's gonna move. But I just wanted to have a little base coat on there for it to slide on. So I'm even gonna kind of spread it around with my fingers. It is still a little, I mean, it's very bubbly, let's put it that way, but yeah, I'm just gonna do this because it's not, it doesn't wanna go where I want it to go. It's being stubborn. It's very thick. You know, I'm not good with thick paints. I'm used to my thin paints. I like my thin paints. I'm a big fan of my thick paint. I'm thin paints versus thick, but for something like this, you do need a thicker base because the paints are going to be thicker. So you don't want to have a super different consistency in your base coat versus whatever colors you're going to put on the top there. You want to keep that pretty steady. Here we go. But this doesn't need to be beautiful. It doesn't need to be perfect because it is just, you know, going to be kind of a tool more than anything else even. All right, let's pop all these crazy, oh my gosh, the bubbles are insane. All right. Look at that. Can you see that? It's completely speckled. You probably can't see it, but it's wild looking. When you just mix up a fresh batch of paint, or you put it through, you know, your strainer fresh, it's really just crazy bubbles. Okay. So now let's have some fun. This is a little difficult because the colors are so pretty and so different that it's hard to figure out where to start and what to put next to what. So don't forget, when you're working with anything with some sparkle to it, especially obviously the primary elements, Prism Pour, not so much, and I'm gonna have a whole video about Prism Pour soon. Again, a different kind of video, kind of teaching you guys the do's and don'ts of Prism Pour and kind of the misconceptions of it. Because I do think there's a lot of misconceptions out there about those paints. But what you want to do, what I was trying to say about these, what you want to do when you have a paint with any kind of mica in it, is you gotta mix it up. You have to make sure right before you use it, you want it mixed really thoroughly so that you get all that mica that can settle at the bottom to rise back up and work with you. All right, so let's see some green here. Unfortunately, I just put all of, you know, just mix these fresh, and I put, since this is the first time I'm using them, I put the little dot that I told you guys to do of the paint on top of the cap. So I can't tell you the names of these one by one as I'm using them because, you know, that I can't turn the pot upside down. But what I will do is I will put it on the screen, you know, in editing so that I can show you exactly which ones are which. But this is going to be very abstract and cool. I can just see this really looking cool. All right, I'm liking this. Okay, let's get some pink in there. What I want to do is I'm trying to go over, you know, different ones and things that you wouldn't expect, like mixing a pink and a green. You'll get really cool effects that way with the primary elements, unlike regular paints, because they are transparent. You know, you're going to get that mixing of color without it truly mixing. And I don't know how to explain that properly. I'm saying it completely wrong. But what I mean is that they will shine through each other so that you can see the value of each of the tones, and sometimes they actually do mix together without blending to the point of, like, let's say an orange and a blue would make a brown in a regular paint, right? You'll never get brown from this unless you put a brown down, unless you have one of the brown colors. So you're not going to get that over mixing muddy effect happening with these. That would be very, very difficult to do. If you did that, I'd try to question how. I'd be very curious to know how that happened, because I can't see how that could happen. All right, so now this is like a really pretty rusty. Ooh, this is nice. Yeah. All right, so now where am I going to put that in relationship to these other cooler colors? Don't want to overpower them, but I want to show this as well. All right, there we go. This reminds me a lot of like a Kathleen pour, when she does all the crazy colors and then swipes and does the swirls, and beautiful, beautiful work. I'll link her channel here so that you can check it out. She really does some pretty, pretty pieces. They look like stained glass when she's done. They're gorgeous. Here we are. Ooh, that is such a pretty color. It's like sea glass. There's going to be a ton of paint on here. I'm going to be stretching most of this off. Unfortunately, I will kind of be wasting some of it, but that's okay. That's a little pretty little pumpkin color. Now this, I'm not going to put very much of because, and unfortunately some of that will blend off too, because I'm not sure that I want to highlight that as much as the others. I'm really loving the cool colors and how those are going to work together. So I want to put more of those down than anything else. Ooh, we're getting the hazing. So in a piece like this, I like the hazing. There we go. This is just going to really be one full piece of sparkle. This is such a pretty color. It's almost like a rose gold, oof, but just more of a pearl pink to it. It's beautiful. A little hint of mauve. And then the hot pink, of course, one of my faves. This is very much like that hot orchid that was, oof, that Prism Pour hot orchid that was, oh, gorgeous, gorgeous color. I think I said once I'd like to bathe in it. I got a dot, that's okay. So leave in the comments, I'm curious, what would you call doing a design like this or a technique like this? I don't think there is a name for it. I'm not sure. Crazy? Chaotic? But that's not the chaos pour, so you can't really say that, right? Random? Alright, let's put some of this in here. Ah, I've got a different color on my finger. It's getting in there. No, no, no. I want the hot pink to mix with the blue in the pot. Okay. So yeah, completely different than what I was originally thinking with doing a Dutch pour, right? Let's see how this tilts now. All right, let's kick off my little holders here. Ooh, cool. So when you're tilting, you want to always figure out where the weight of your paint is. And by that I mean, you see this big area here that's moving and everything's sliding with it. That's what you want to pay attention to more than anything else. So directionally speaking now, I don't necessarily, I might, but I don't necessarily want to take this and go straight up now. I want to take this and put the weight of my paint back into the center of my piece before I decide where I want to go with it now. I want to kick that other corner. Definitely want this covered. Okay, now carry it back. While dabbing that corner, make sure that you got all that paint covered on that corner. You want to end up with the little white corners that drive me nuts. I don't know about you, but that drives me insane. Beautiful piece with these like curved white corners. All right, so now I really liked how it was looking right in the beginning when the angles were going differently. So let's go all the way over there, get some of that paint off. When you're tilting too, you want to remember you cannot leave too much paint on the canvas. So what's too much paint on the canvas? Oh no, I see, I got my finger in it. Too much paint on the canvas is going to give you a hard time drying. And when you basically see that there's a lot of paint sliding around, there's too much. So there's still too much here. If it's sliding around really easily, you've still got too much paint on your canvas. Oh, this is beautiful. This is like a piece of stained glass. All right, come on, buddy. Go back to the other corner. So what I'm doing is I'm hooking my fingers, if you can see, under the edges. And if you like, you can tape those so that you don't get any paint on the back of the canvas. But since this was an experiment, this was a cheaper canvas, I'm not intending to sell this piece, so I didn't bother. I really want to get that corner there. All right, come on. There we go. Ooh. Now carry it back. There we go. I'm dabbing to get rid of that white. Now we're getting somewhere. This is beautiful. Oh, so slow. Come on. Okay, I'll tilt a little bit more off, just for composition purposes. I really like the streakiness that's happening here up at the top. It's really pretty. Can I get any more off of there? I think that's it. A little bit. Let's see. Tapping moves the paint a little bit quicker. Not much, but a little bit. If you're impatient like me. There we go. Wow. That is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. That is so, so pretty. Oh, I really love this. Okay, I cannot wait until you see this, because you'll see how all of those crazy colors and all that crazy streakiness made the prettiest, like multi-layered, hazy, it's just gorgeous. Okay, wait, all right, I'm gonna stop talking about it now. I'm gonna take you down from the camera, from the clamp, and show you this pretty, pretty piece. I'll be right back. All right, so look at this. I actually got the very ethereal, very watery effect that I was looking for by not doing the Dutch pour. Okay, so sorry about that. I don't mean to make you dizzy when I zoom in like that quickly, but that's how I get to show you this beautiful sparkle. Look at this. The entire piece is just covered in glittery gorgeousness. It's incredible. And it's very, very interesting how the colors layer over each other. If you see like an area like this, look at that really cool effect there. But look at this one. So now this is like a pink on top of a blue on top of a green, which normally would make mud, right? But you've got this blue over here, if you can see, the pink line running through. I think that's actually a red in there too. Some of the sagey green, and it's just sort of like they're like glass, one on top of another. It's so, so pretty. And then of course on top of all of it is, you know, this gorgeous sparkle coming on top. Oh, look at this. I'm just gonna glaze over the whole thing. Look at that. I'm not even as close as I should be to show you that. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? There's just nothing like the primary elements. There really honestly isn't. You know, and I think, oh, look at that too. See, it's like a peach on top of a blue on top of a green. It just came out so pretty. And then a little bit of white that did decide to play either ended up in little tiny streaks like that or got really feathery like this. Do you see that? It's so, like, such a cool effect. I don't even know what to call that. I love it because it's underneath some of the primary elements, but on top of others, and then underneath another one probably. Because there's so many of them layered on top of each other. Really, really cool. All right, so don't forget, guys, that I do have a 20% off discount for everything on the Colourarte website, all the products, whether you're doing the primary elements, the new Prism Pour line, you're doing the resin art, or any of the supplies that they have. They have all those little, you know, stir spoons and scoops and the vivid enamel and the vivid polypore, all that good stuff. Ooh, I love this piece. Okay, I'm gonna zoom back out again. Hope it didn't make you dizzy there either. Look at that. It's like a rainbow, but it's not, because it's really not as harsh as when I first poured it out. Once I started to tilt, the blending happened, which was what I was really, really hoping for. So I'm super in love with this. Okay. Thanks, guys, for being here with me again. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing. I would love for you to stick around and see what else I have in store. All right. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye, guys. Okay, so sometimes inspiration hits you at the strangest times. And you just have to kind of go with it, right? All right, so let's see what happens if I play with these in a different way. Will I get a similar result? Well, first of all, let's pop these crazy bubbles, because I just mixed this one as usual. I mix it the second before I use it, right? Which is not the smartest thing in the world to do, but so I'm gonna have a ton of bubbles popping up. It is what it is. I'm gonna just have to keep popping them. Okay, it's as good as I'm gonna get for now. I'm not gonna sit here and pop bubbles for an hour. All right, so let's see if now this is my Dutch pour mix for my white. That's gonna be a mess. I hate these little stands. They're not my friend. Okay. So I'm gonna just spread it all around, and then I'm gonna add some more right back in the middle as a pseudo pillow-ish kind of effect. Again, just for something for it to float on. But just as I'm wrapping up my paints, putting them all away, last minute idea. I wonder what would happen if, which is the most dangerous words in my creations, because then I start something all new, or I go off on a tangent, and that's it. 4 hours later, I'm still painting. Okay. Of course, I had taken my gloves off already. cleaned everything up. Well, mostly anyway. So now, I don't know why I'm popping that, and then I'm going to add more, right? A little bit more in the middle, just to float. Oh, a little more than that. Come on now. I'm stingy. Okay, so now I'm going to start with the red and just do just ever so little of this. Little splashes here and there. Okay. That's good. And then more color this time. Thicker lines, more up against each other. Let's see what all this does. I'm going to use up these little pots of paint because I don't really love leftover paints as much as some other people do. I see a lot of people saying, well, I had so many leftover paints. I'm going, I don't really usually have a lot of leftover paints. I use them up. I don't like them sitting around. All right, let's get some emerald green right on top there. Okay. A little bit of this pumpkin color too. Just a touch. I'm going to keep it mostly in the cool tones. But just real heavy bars of color and keeping it in the middle to see what that'll do when it stretches out. Probably be really cool on a spinner, but I don't have that set up today, so we're not going to go there. Let's add our pink. I haven't really showed you guys any spinner art. I should get that out. Start using that again. Some of this beautiful bright green. This is going to be a ton of paint. A ton of paint. All right, where's this red violet? Gorgeous. I'm going to make a good mess today. Of myself, of my table, everything. Let's see, I think I have a little bit more of that in there. And then the hot pink, right front and center. Yeah, hardly any white in this one. Let's see what it does. Who knows, right? Okay. Get rid of all those bubbles, those pesky bubbles that haunt me. Oh, I have the worst torch. I just got a new one because my other one died, and it's just awful. It's weak. I feel like I have to go over spaces 50 times. All right, let's see what happens. Tilting time. Okay, first I got to get it off these dang cups. This is why I put screws in my canvases. But when I'm working with little canvases like this, the real thin edges, there's not enough space to put the screws. So I don't work with them very often. It's usually just on when I'm doing, trials and such. Experiments. Let's go back this way. Ooh, it's already pretty. Ooh. Okay, let's go this way. I got a slider. So that was a tiny little piece of burnt paint that kind of slid right off, and I had to get it off. Unfortunately, I took a lot of the top paint with it, but it had to go. And it's just because I kept that torch in that one spot for just a little too long. And again, a weak torch makes me have to go over it again and again and again. Ooh, this is so pretty. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. All right, bring the weight back to the center. And this is much more vibrant than the other. Similar look as far as the overall streakiness and layering and such, but let me see if I can turn this the other way so you guys can see it. Don't fall on me. Trying to tilt when you're trying to also handle a camera and showing you guys what I'm doing is not the easiest thing in the world. But I hope you can see this. Come on, baby. Oh, so slow. Come on, come on. There we go. All the way down to the corner. Come on, there we are. And back again. Ooh. This is beautiful. Really, really pretty. And very different than the other one. I'm glad I did it. It's pretty like candy coated colors. Oh yeah, that's it. We're good. That is beautiful. Oh, I love it. Okay, and I want to point to things, but I can't because my hands are full of paint. Oh, it is so pretty. All right, I will be right back. I'm going to bring you in for a close-up. Take a look at this beauty. Oh my gosh. It's so pretty. And it's very different. I'm just going to creep you over than this guy, which is very, it's more layered, I think, that one. And this one, I feel like the colors stayed a little bit more independent, even though you did get some of the mixing and some of the layering there. You see all that pretty striping? Oh, and look at the sparkle. Gorgeous. It's so soft and pretty. You got much more of the brighter pink, and again, that was just my layering. But I really wanted that to stand out more, and it did, which is really great. Oh, I love this piece. It's so pretty. Very summery, perfect for this set. But I love how all of this came out, the streakiness. Just gorgeous. All right, don't forget about my 20% off discount, guys. It's Giovanna620. You get 20% off anything on the Colourarte website. Anything you like. And if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoy my channel, please consider subscribing. Thanks so much. Have a great night, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Bye.